Go
Got
ahead.
yourself a little corny.
Go ahead, Mr. Marvin. How's it going? How's it going, Marvin?
I'm here.
Glad to have you here.
Right. They didn't deposit my check yet.
What check?
The producers.
Dang.
I'm up here working for free.
Sorry.
Work ethic.
There you go. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you got to work for free
That's right.
to get to the goal.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay, tell me.
Right. I've been waiting to ask you this. Like, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm scared.
I want to talk about self-love. Like, why self-love is important. What is self-love? And do people really understand the importance? And do people really understand how does self-love affect the outside world to them?
That's a good question. So should I tell you what self-love means to me?
Tell me.
Okay. So again, personal experiences, right? I think self-love means that you can accept yourself alone, like yourself, by yourself. There isn't anything that's giving you stuff to make you love yourself. Like you just love yourself in your own space. I think it also means like feeding yourself in positive ways. And by feeding, I don't just mean like a healthy diet, but I think also exercising and, again, the people that you interact with, the things that you feed your mind. I think that that's important. And I think it's about acceptance, like accepting your whole self, even within whatever flaws you may have, because we all have flaws. None of us are perfect. Why are you laughing?
Right.
Are you saying you're
flaws.
perfect?
Nah, I'm just love.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I think that self-love comes, I know that it's difficult, but I think it just means that having a positive outlook about yourself, being able to sit with yourself and being able to feed yourself positive things, or at least the best that you can to your ability, and accepting yourself for who you are, not comparing yourself to others, because they always say there's only one of you. There's only one Genesis in this world that looks like me, that thinks like me, that feels like me,
right.
And that's pretty special.
Do you think the world that we live in fosters self-love?
No.
Why not?
I think people are, I always say like people are lost. And I think people are lost. I think people don't really understand who they are, and there's no identity. And when you don't have that, how can you love yourself?
And then how, I know I'm asking you a lot of questions, and then I'm going to chime in on it, but how do you think having the lack of self-love affects you in a intimate relationship with like man and woman?
I think it does. You bring in, I think, some of whatever your traumas have, and I think that it brings in a lot of baggage. Unintentional, right? I don't think that it's intentional, but I do think that it brings a lot of unintentional issues, and that creates, I think, toxicity and tension and conflict. And a lot of the times people don't realize it. Like there's this lack of self-awareness as well, because this is the way you've lived your life and it's normalized. Like you don't know any different. And so if you don't know any different, then how do you know you're doing something wrong?
That's true.
How do you know you don't love yourself?
Do you think selfishness has any self-love in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course. Of course. I know people think that that's a negative thing, but I believe we need to think of ourselves sometimes. We got to do what's also best for us.
I always said I love selfish people because the key word there is self, right? A lot of times I be wishing I was selfish. I'm not really a selfish person, right? But I got a kind of like a different thought process about self-love, right?
Tell me, Marvin. I want to hear this.
So with self-love, right, I think that most of us, right, even the ones who think they really have self-love, I don't think they do. Do
you have an example?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to you.
All right, I want to hear it.
And it's just my thought. But I just don't think people, no matter how much we say, because even I say, like, I got self-love. I love myself. I love nobody more than myself. I think people just don't have it, right? I think self-love is tied to discipline, right? A lot of discipline, right? And humans hate discipline. Like, we hate discipline. Discipline is doing the things you don't want to do, right?
I do hate that.
Yeah, people hate that, right? To do something you don't want to still do it, even though you don't want to do it. But this is why I think people don't have self-love, and I think we really don't understand what self-love is.
Okay, tell me.
From a child, you are only taught to love from the outside.
That's true.
You taught to love your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, love the neighbor, love this, right? Nobody was ever taught to love self.
Yeah.
That came about when you became older.
Yeah.
You heard the term. But just think, your whole developmental years, adolescent years, toddler years, you was always taught to, give love, but never to pull love into. So I think when we grew up and became adults, right, and we hear the word self-love, we think we self-love. But I don't really think we do because we don't know how to. Like, most likely you learning that, you can learn it probably at an older age, but it's going to be so hard, right?
Yeah,
because
it's
harder because when you a child, you love freely.
Right.
Without expectations,
Yeah.
without nothing, right? It's just natural. And then the older you get, you start loving based on expectations, time spent with people, the way somebody probably made you feel.
Yeah.
It's not as natural, right? So how can self-love come about then when you don't even know what it is?
I think but we also have this, and I think you can research stuff, and you can read it, and you can learn it, and you can create a new habit.
You can, but think what I said, right? Even the people who wrote it didn't have self-love.
But how do you know that?
I know they didn't. It's just not a human nature. It's just not human nature.
Well, I would say now, like the next generation, I have heard that they are teaching the kids in school to have, like, to write down positive affirmations about themselves and to speak highly of themselves. Like, that's a thing. I don't know if it's like a class or a curriculum. I don't know if it's certain schools. I think this person particularly, I think, goes to a private school.
But just think, right? And I ain't gonna get all biblical and all this stuff, right?
Okay.
But you've never been taught to put yourself first.
No, this is true. I know.
It's always been something else, whether
Yes.
it's been God or other people or
Yes.
Jesus or your friends, and you always taught to put somebody else first and care about their feelings. And just think about it. Like,
No, I am thinking about it. You're absolutely right. Again, it's not supposed to be easy, right?
it is not. So even when I grew up, right, and it's stuff that just like, the randomest, I be sleep thinking of this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, like, how could you do something you've never known how to do?
I mean, I think you do the best you can with the tools you got and the resources you got.
And that's true.
Because we're now talking about it more,
Yeah,
okay?
we-
And we're doing more research about it, and it's out there more. And so you do the best that you can with the tools and the resources you got.
Yeah.
And again, it takes ongoing practice.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, right?
Okay.
That
I'm glad I'm always on point with your thoughts,
We do the best we got with the tools we got because we talking about it now. But the reason why we talking about it is because somebody, it sparked in their head too, was like, what is self-love?
Yeah.
How? Like, how can I self-love when I've never even thought of this for 25 years or nobody has ever taught me this, right? Because you feel guilty when you put yourself first. Most of the time you feel guilty. Like, if you put yourself over somebody first, right? Or if it's a loved one or something like that, you always coddle their feelings and you care about how they feel first. And most people and some people in the comments gonna say, I don't give a fuck how nobody feels. Yes,
That's
you do.
not true. I do. I 1,000% do. And I do feel guilty
Yes,
all
you
the
do.
time.
And we just think like a lot of stuff we just picked up along the way growing up.
Yeah.
And it was never self-love. You just existed and love was around you, but it was never love from you to you. It was love
Yeah.
from you to others.
Yeah.
And I think that affects people when they got older. And I hear a lot of people, right? And I talk to a lot of people that will say, yeah, I got self-love and I'm the number one and self-love. And I just be like, how? And none of them can tell me. Because then when I hit them with that scenario about when was you taught to self-love,
Yeah.
nobody can remember. Nobody even understand it. They just like, well, now I do.
Yeah.
But now I do. Why? Because you read something
Yeah.
and you think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But you didn't read anything about how to love anybody else. You just did.
Right. But it's because it was taught when you were growing up. Dang, Marvin, this would be going too philosophical for me sometimes. Like, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, it's. I mean, that probably is the root of a lot of our problems. Is like that we truly don't know how to self-love, and we take things very offensive and get defensive about stuff because it's misplaced feelings or something. I don't know, but just misguided feelings or whatever. But we truly don't. People say turn the mirror in on yourself and all this, but you just don't know how to love yourself.
I mean, I will say this, right? Like, I would say, yes, I'm that person. Like, I'm always thinking about other feelings first, even if my feelings are impacted, right? That's not a form of self-love, right? Because I'm allowing my feelings to get hurt. I'm allowing myself to get stressed and overwhelmed at the sake of not making somebody else feel this way. And I also know that I love other people way more than I love myself. And this isn't to say it's good or healthy. It's just to say it's what it is.
Right. And it's because naturally, like, we don't, like, so for other people, we have to show that we love them or we tell them we love them. Naturally, you feel like I don't have to tell myself that or like I don't have to show myself this, right? Because you just feel like just unconsciously before
it's
not necessary.
Yeah,
we thought it wasn't.
Yeah.
We thought it wasn't. And now we seeing the effects of it like wow, people, and mostly I'm going to go with people that's in relationships, that stuff happened in relationships, and I hear women after the fact and be like, I chose to love myself more. And I'm like, how you figure that out? Like, when did you decide to...
Well, I think what that means is that they chose to think about themselves more, right?
Yeah, I know they did. They thought about that, right? But I just say, like, because, like, I'm big on, like, I don't like people just throwing phrases out. Like, I chose to love myself more. And I'm like, that emotion don't even exist inside of you because it's not taught. Most emotions, you probably could learn new emotions as an adult, but most of it was already there.
But love is an emotion that's always been there.
But self-love was never there.
I know, but okay, that's an action, but the emotion is love. So we understand the meaning of love. So that's how we... No, it's not think. We understand that based on our perception of it. What is love to people, right? So then we apply that the same way we do to others, we apply it to ourselves, and that's how we identify self-love. For example, okay, for love, it might mean like there's the 5 love languages, right? So
I don't believe in that either.
Okay, well, I do. I think that I do. So there's a love of act of service.
Yeah.
Let's just say that, okay? I love that. If somebody can make things easier for me and think about stuff that are going to be easier for me, that's the best kind of love you can give me. Thoughtfulness, being very mindful, right? To me, it's not about the gifts and that, right? Like some people like gifts. To me, it's the thought of doing something for me, right? So you can apply that to yourself, right?
So the thought of doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, give me an example.
But then going out and doing it for myself.
Like, give me an example. You own a car. You go buy yourself a car.
Yeah.
Is it self-love?
I think that is a form of self-love.
But see what you said? Say it again.
I think it is.
Think.
Right, but that's the tools that we have and the resources that we got. So if I think self-love is to buy myself a car and I go and get it, then hell yeah.
I don't agree.
Hell yeah, that's an act of love. For sure.
Yeah, I don't believe in those, what is it, the 5 love languages.
Why not?
I just don't.
Because you're annoying.
No, I'm just real. I'm just like I'm the one who go challenge everything. I don't like to be boxed into anything. I just like, okay, what is it? Acts of service, words of affirmation.
Yes.
Physical touch.
Yes.
I don't know.
Time.
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 Like
spending time with somebody.
Together. And
I'm gonna look it up as you're talking about it.
Let's get the other one up.
But keep going.
so I don't say the wrong thing and they kill me. But yeah, like I don't believe in those either. Like, cause none of those, like I don't care for none of that.
Those were it. So it's words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch.
Right. Okay. So I could go my life without any of that.
That is not true, Marvin.
That is true. That is
Dude.
true. If you know me, comment in there and tell her.
That's not
I could go
true.
without that. Like, it's no one of them that I would favor. Like, oh, that's my thing. Like, I don't like people giving me gifts. I don't really care spending time with people. I prefer to be alone. I don't. Acts of service is just.
But it's not boxing you in. It's just the 5 main things that research or whatever
some
have
of us,
shown.
Yeah, research. Some of us is outside of that box. I guess I'm.
So
one.
okay, so what's yours, Marvin?
Leave me alone.
That's not an act. That's not a. Oh
That
my
is.
God.
You never. So, some people do. They just like space away from everybody.
I know, Marvin, but if I'm seeing you
Mm-hmm.
and how you interact with people, I think that part of your, this is just my assumption, is like thoughtfulness and being mindful of who you are is probably the love that you deserve and you like, is that when people are thoughtful and mindful of who you are and respect who you are.
No, not really.
Yes.
No,
If people respect your time away, like you like to be isolated.
Yeah.
And people respect that, that's very thoughtful and mindful.
No, it ain't that I need them to be thoughtful of my time away. I just like to be away. I don't care what they think.
Marvin, you wouldn't have relationships if this were true.
Again, if you know me or if you've been in a relationship, comment in there and explain
Oh my God.
how
I
difficult
understand what you're saying, but you still engage with people.
for them. What I told you before.
No,
A
but
lot
it's
of-
also for you. You okay.
So if yours is what'd you say yours was? Thoughts of
It's a little bit, it's acts
so
of
you
service.
so you're a little bit of everything.
I mean, okay, so for me, mostly, right, is doing an act of service. Because for me, that means you're recognizing my space, where I am mentally, you understand me, and you're making things easier for me by maybe, you went to the grocery store and you bought groceries and now there's groceries in the
Okay.
house.
And that's your love language.
I
That's what I'm
appreciate
saying.
that
So and that's the one you identify with, right?
the most.
Okay, you identify that the most. Now say it again. What is it? Somebody going to the grocery store, taking something off of her hands, right? Somebody going to the grocery store, go shopping, whatever, cook for you. That's great because you're like, oh my God, that's love for me. I love it. How does that apply to self-love?
Well, yeah, I know. We kind of got away, but
Yeah.
yes, you're right. So then that wouldn't be the act of love that I would give myself, maybe.
I know, right? So that's what I'm saying about self-love. So if we so-called got these love languages that we identify with, and then our self-love, what is that? So what's the self-love language?
I think self-love is more of like, again, so for me, it would be a healthy diet. I think that's a form of self-love. Exercising, I think that's a form of self-love. And respecting myself, appreciating and accepting who I am, and not allowing others, not allowing my standards to drop just because others don't have the same standards of me, and not allowing people to take advantage of me. Like, I think those are forms of self-love when you don't allow those things to come into your being.
I agree. That could be a form of self-love.
Like having enough
Right.
respect for yourself, where you see value in yourself, that you won't allow certain things to impact you and change you. Like, who I am is who I am, right? There's, I am a person that enjoys doing a lot of things and exercising. Okay.
So do you think, the ultimate question, do you think people compromise what they think is self-love for the love of others?
I think most people do, absolutely.
So
I think people do. That's not healthy. Who's saying that's healthy? So what do you mean?
I didn't.
This is what I'm saying. You're right. Okay, so you're right. People don't have self-love. They think that they do. But once you start to compromise what you appreciate, what you value, for the sake of somebody else's relationship, you're no longer loving yourself.
Yeah. So would you agree that we need to learn what self-love is?
Yes, we need to learn and we need to practice it.
Because should self-love be compromised?
Marvin, now you're getting into, like, again, when you're sharing a life with somebody, there are some things I do believe you compromise. Again, things that are not good for you, but things that are good for you, if you're compromising the things that are good for you, I don't think that's good. I think that you're getting away from the things that are self-loving for yourself. I don't think that's good. Absolutely not. But I do know that people do that.
So do they got self-love?
No.
Okay. That was mic drop.
Yeah, they absolutely don't have
Yeah.
self-love.
So that's what sparked me to say, like, do we really understand what it is? Like, I know people talk about it, and now it's a big thing around, and people, really go into it. But I'm just like, it just made me think, like, when was you ever really taught self-love or taught to even love thyself, right? It's always been love others and show others this and show that. And you've been taught to push out love so much,
Yeah.
right? It's going off a little bit, but it's just like years ago I had a talk with a guy, and I was like, the world, and this kind of tied to self-love, but the world has always said, like, not now, but back then it was saying, like, oh, cater to women this, like, oh, do this for her and do this. And I remember I told this girl, like, I fucking like flowers. Right? And she brought me flowers, and I didn't like flowers, though. But I was just saying, but I'm just saying, like, you've always been taught, right, to compromise what you feel for the betterment of others.
But how did she compromise how she felt?
No, me.
Oh. I was like, how did she compromise?
She didn't. I'm just saying we. Like, I was telling the guy, like, you've been taught to cater because, he was having a problem with a woman or whatever. And I'm like, but you've been taught to cater to women so much, you put your feelings on the back burner.
Right,
like,
yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's the same that I feel with self-love. Like, we've been taught to love so many other things to that we don't really even know what self-love is, right?
Well, yeah, you don't. And so if you're compromising the things that make you whole, the things that bring you peace, the things that make you happy, you compromise it because now you have an intimate relationship, or because you have children, or because you have aging parents that you're taking care of, I think that then you're not self-loving yourself anymore. Mm-hmm. I think that you should never get away from the things that you enjoy just because there's other people involved in your life.
Now, you said one thing that made me go back to something I had said before. I think, and everybody don't got kids, so it don't apply to everybody. But I think people who have kids, you start to realize a form of self-love, right? Because anybody who got kids, you look at that as that's a piece of you.
Yeah. That
you can physically see in the world, right? Because it's hard to turn anything on yourself and say, right? Because we just go about our life like whatever. Like, as long as the around us is happy, we like, I'm happy, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you have a child, or even a child in your presence, for them to be happy, right? And that's why I love kids, because it's like, it's free with no boundaries, right? And when you see a kid, or those who have kids, you want the absolute best, no matter what. And I think that's the form of self-love that we've missed. But and I can only speak because I have a child. When you see your child, you see the mini version of you. Mm-hmm. And you like, dang, like, but you can never turn that in because you've never been taught to just love self. And I think people just lack self-love. I think it should be more talk about it. It should be more research.
Well, I think that there is a lot more talk about it, but it's like anything, right? It's different in theory than what it is in application. And I think people may think that they know it, but in application, they're not showing it. Yeah. So you can talk about it, and that's great. It's a start. It's a start to maybe trying to create new habits. But when you start to not then apply it for the sake of others, and when they're good things, when they're positive things, then now you're getting away from that again. And you're compromising your feelings, again, the things that bring you love and joy and peace, for the sake of somebody else. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that that's good.
That's why I love people that's selfish, because it's self. What's those out there that's watching this, like, what is self-love to you? Do you even know? After you heard this, did you think like, dang, like, I never even thought about it like that, or do you think that you figured it out? Let us know. I know I haven't figured it out, because I go back and think when I was a kid, like, what? I ain't even think of that, nothing like that. Even growing up until, just recently, I was like, man, like, I put a lot of people before me. Yeah. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's humbling and all this. Fuck that.
Marvin. I think it's a good balance, Marvin. I think. So I'm always a person of balance. That's what I'm going to say, right? And I will say again, there's definitely people I love more than myself. And it's just going to, like, it is what it is. But I also don't allow them to take away what I love about myself and what I love to do.
So
You're gonna accept me
Yeah.
for all that I am.
That's cool. I accept you for all that you is. You you a balance. You right. You know, you don't teeter totter, right? And I'm the person who live on the edge.
Yeah.
So I'm to the extreme, and I'm gonna have the extreme thought of it, like it just some don't exist or I don't believe it, and I'm gonna push to it because I want to know. Like it ain't no left or right to me. It's what it is, right?
But that's not how the world is, Marvin.
It is. You ain't
There's a
lived.
lot of gray in between.
Boo. We don't want no gray.
There's
You
a
ain't
lot of
lived-
gray. Don't let this guy fool you. There's a lot of gray.
Don't live in the gray.
I'm not saying to live in
No,
the
I'm not
gray.
just telling him, like,
I'm saying
don't get out of the gray.
You can critically think about something. So I'm a critical thinker.
Pull
So
the
I'm
bell
I'm always like, is that possible? Could it be? Is that right? Is it not right? Does it apply to me? Can it apply to me?
And I'm the one that's go out and try it. Let me see if it's right. Let me go see
Well,
if I
yeah.
apply.
So after I do all my questioning, then I do it.
I ain't questioning.
I'm gonna question everything. Okay, I was taught to critically think and question things, and then like this is how I created sort of my thought process. So, like question it. Do I believe it? Do I not believe it? Do I try? How does it apply to me when I try it? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Like, and then that's how I formulate my identity.
Okay. I just go experience it all. To see
I'm
what's
sorry,
going
but I
on.
really don't want to commit crimes and experience that, Marvin. You know, like those are things that are non-negotiables to me.
You ain't lived till you lived on the edge.
I never lived on the edge.
Ride the wave.
I'm a prude. You'll get to that. You'll know that.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you think self-love is. We go definitely revisit this topic because I think it could get a lot deeper. And it's no right or wrong, but I do like to know like what people really think self-love is and what it means to you. Do you even know?
Are you applying it?
Are you applying it in every aspect of your life? Because when I looked in with self, I was like, wow, I don't really know what self-love is. But when I looked at it, I'm like, wow, if this is what I identify self-love to be, I ain't doing it. You know, I haven't been doing it. So do I drastically change my whole life or what? You know, so
That's something to think about.
let us know what you think. Thanks.